he looks good running. He doesn't look
Yeah.
slow. He doesn't look awkward. Where do you feel like now after seeing that? I know it doesn't change a lot for you. What's the highest he could be drafted in your opinion? Not in terms of round, but let's just say pick. Speaking of elite, Cam Skattebo, his pro day today was closed to the media, was ASU. So there was limitation on the info that came in and out of ASU today. And, no issue with that. But thankfully, we got boots on the ground here locally. Anthony Totri of PHNX Sun Devils tweeted this out earlier today pertaining to Cam Skattebo's 40 time, because there were some numbers being floated out here, but I trust my guy Totri saying Skattebo ran a low 4.6 in his 4-yard dash during his private workout on Thursday per source. So again, we had Fran Duffy on yesterday. We've been talking about it, teasing it. I was hopeful for sub 4.6. Looks like it didn't happen. Your reaction to this, and how do you believe it impacts his draft stock, Bo?
I think it's minimal impact. Like, it wasn't, slow to the point where you think, hey, this guy is a firm, day 3 pick. I mean, I think he still has the chance to get in and become a late day 2 pick, just depending on how a team values him. But, 4.6, it's fine. I mean, I think that's where people probably would have projected him to go. And then we were talking to Fran yesterday, like, how could he boost himself? Looking at just the different percentiles, he would be right around where he needed to be, kind of average to above average, if he was right there in the 4.5. So, him at 4.6, low 4.6, according to our guy Totri from PHNX Sun Devils, he's dialed in. I trust that reporting more than anything else you're going to see out there on the social media streets, that, that's where Scat is about. I think it kind of keeps his draft stock, Johnny, at the status quo.
Yeah. I'm with you. I listen, like, he was never going to be Jahmyr Gibbs running 4.36, right? He's not that kind of player. I mean, this is probably going to make you throw up in your mouth when I do this comparison, but the Cardinals' own backfield, I know Trey Benson ran a sub 4.4. I mean, he was lightning fast, but can I say something about that? I don't know if that's translated on the field yet. Like, we didn't see one big explosive in terms of Trey Benson breaking a one-cut run like he did in the ACC on NFL Sundays. I think you could make an argument like DeMercado had a couple more of those. James Conner ran a 4.65 coming out. Now, James Conner is built very differently than Cam Skattebo. So I think more important for Cam, the agility training, the explosiveness with his lower body he showed with when he jumped at the combine. His center of gravity is elite. That's his best trait. Then you couple that with his hands. I think, can he come in and compete for snaps, have a package of about 8 to 10 plays this year? I think that's realistic. And then, listen, if he earns his keep and people fall in love with him in the film room, in the locker room, then I think his role can expand. But I think for him to come in and take over a backfield, save for injury, probably not realistic, at least as a rookie.
I think he did a lot of the heavy lifting with just the 2 drills he participated in the draft, right?
Yeah.
At the draft combine with the nearly 40-inch vertical, showing some explosiveness there, having a decent broad jump, and then putting this kind of with what people's expectations were. I don't think anybody thought when they watched Scat and the Sun Devils make their run to the CFP and take Texas down to the wire, that this was going to be somebody that was going to be like lighting up the scoreboard at the combine, or really, RAS scores were going to be off the charts. I mean, he was a 0-star recruit. So, like, his game transcends, what you're going to get with the measurables, what you're going to get from the workout score. So, like, he's right. I think he's right where he needs to be. Like, could he have boosted it? Yes. But, like, you're asking for somebody to do something pretty Herculean at that point. Now it's like, okay, Scat is essentially at least who we thought he was. And I think that is going to go as far as we're kind of in lockstep, where I think the NFL, there could be a few teams that view, hey, this is just a part of the equation. We like the tape more so. We like the character, and he could do what he's been he told us in Indy, like he could be a 3rd-round pick.
I think that's his goal. I think that continues to be his goal. Some notable guys outside of the running back position, including the running back position, that have ran right around 4.6. Sam Laporta, ran a 4.6 once upon a time. Puka Nacua was just under 4.6. At the combine, Lucas Van Ness. How about Clayton Tune, 4.64?
Whoa.
So, yeah, Clayton Tune flying straight to the practice squad. Let's see.
Well, we have Scat running this thing, right?
We do.
I mean,
All right, let's take
I
a
think
look
that's
at it.
important too. When you like watch the game film, you look to see if they're fluid. Like, let's take a look at inside the Dickey Dome here in Tempe. There he is. I mean, he looks smooth, getting up there, shirtless, getting after it.
Let's see that one more time, Shano. I mean, can I just? He looks good running. He doesn't look slow. He doesn't look awkward. And again, as much as people gawk at this, like he's still a power runner. He's a yards after contact runner. He's not going to run over people in the NFL, but he's got an ability to at least break tackles. He's going to be a pain in the ass to take down. Like, again, the very best at that, Frank Gore, LaDainian Tomlinson, those guys had tremendous center of gravity. And I'm not comparing Skattebo to those, all-time Hall of Famers like X's and O's, but like that's the best version of what he's attempting to be. Those kind of players, right? And I think if he can come in and, again, establish himself within a locker room, probably going to have to play special teams, has an opportunity to do some things on third down and bide his time. Mm-hmm. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be just fine. But again, 5'9", 215, as people are saying in the chat, like he's just a load to tackle. Go back and watch some of those goal line plays against Texas in the Peach Bowl. And he was hit at the point of attack. I love what Kenny Dillingham did this year. Their offensive line was suspect at certain times this year, especially against Texas, who's got NFL players, right? How many top picks on the offensive line does ASU have right now? And he's breaking tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Like that, not all 3 or 4 yard runs are created equal. And that's one of the best things he did. So that does translate to the NFL, because the difference is, and this is what concerns me about Genty, felt like Genty the first time he's getting touched a lot with Boise State, it was like 5 to 7 yards downfield. And he's making people miss that aren't going to be playing the NFL. At least Skattebo's, the Peach Bowl was so imperative because Texas has an NFL caliber defense, Bo.
I'll also say he changed his style completely from 2 years ago to this year. Like he dropped 20 plus pounds ish, or around 20 pounds going into the next year, and got a lot thinner so he could get breakaway runs, because that was the only knock on him the year before, is there were no big, huge plays. He had a couple of them. But to what you were saying earlier about his, he's not going to run over people. He won't, because that wasn't really his game in college either. The thing that is the most impressive about him is his contact balance. Like it doesn't matter where you hit him. You can hit him low and he'll do a front flip and put his hand down and stay going. Like that's just the type of runner he is. And so I don't think that's going to matter that much.
Right. I mean, and keep it like with all that in the center of gravity and the balance and being able to play at 4.6 potentially, like you see that more so than somebody who goes way low.
Yeah.
And they don't play at that speed. And, the ability, like, you can accelerate at a decent speed. Can you decelerate at a good speed too, where you're not telegraphing where you're going? And I think that Skattebo possesses the ability to kind of play at an NFL caliber pace that gave him the ability to perform against no matter who he was playing against, whether it was Texas State in week 2 or whether it was Texas in the college football playoff.
Where do you feel like now after seeing that? I know it doesn't change a lot for you. What's the highest he could be drafted in your opinion? Not in terms of round, but let's just say pick, right? Yeah. The second round ends right around what? Pick 65. So we both agree now, probably not likely he goes in the first 2 rounds. But if I look at the full order, the first pick of the 3rd round belongs to the Giants at pick 65, all the way through Detroit at pick 102. The 4th round starts at 103. Give me his sweet spot of where he could be drafted based on the pick, not the round.
Yeah, I think you hope he makes his way past the slums of like the Browns. I think the Raiders will already have a back, but Benjamin Albright thought they were going to take 2 backs. Is that their second running back off the board in this draft? Get out of the Jags, get away from the Saints, maybe the Bears, like maybe starting at 72. Is it like the run of like the Bears,
San Fran,
Niners, right? You got the Cowboys in there. Like there's a lot of decent teams that I think, that like to run the football. I know the Seahawks have loaded up on backs. Steelers are one of those teams, I think. A lot of opportunities there. Broncos in the 85. I think you start to look at it just after 70 down to about, I think he goes between 70 and like 85.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'll give you even more grace. Like I think he goes at the probably the back half of the third round at this point. And I think that's fantastic. I think he's gonna be a top 100 pick. I mean, like, Michael Wilson was a top 100 pick. Garrett Williams, snuck into the third round, and he was a first round caliber pick before he tore his ACL. Like, you look at some of these teams on the back half. I mean, Kansas City doesn't have a great backfield right now, inconsistent. Minnesota could use it back. The Giants could use it back. Rams, Niners have multiple picks in the third round. I think he goes
all those compensatory picks.
Yeah, I think he goes between. I'm with you. Put the window from about 70, maybe 72 to 102. I'll say there's a sweet spot about 30 picks there. He's going to go.
I mean, we're just doing that like wishful thinking for Scat that he's going to have to play for the Saints at 71.
Yeah, I mean,
when they're playing with negative $350 million in cap space in 2028.
It's like, Cam, can you also maybe play quarterback like Taysom Hill used to do? He was like, sure, that's fine. I'll do that.